Well, hello world, welcome to Raccoon Point Studios. I'm Sean Bombs, and this is part 2 of rebuilding my pedal board. If you watched the first one, I went over the fuzzes that I wanted to shoot out and then picked one of them to stay, and that was the Hoof Reaper. If you want to watch that video, I'll leave a link down in the description. This time we're doing modulation, and I like phaser and vibrato, and the type of vibrato I like is more of a random vibrato, so it's I've been using this warped vinyl for a long time. I was trying to condense things so I didn't have two pedals on at the same time, and I always use the Phase 90 with that warped vinyl. And then I just happened to pick up this super phaser at my local guitar shop, and I really dig this one. And it has two different voicings. One's more of a phaser with a little bit of ring modulation type of thing, or even like flange. These are both analog, these are both digital. These both have MIDI, which is awesome because I'm using this with a board that has a Boss ES8 on it, and that has MIDI, so I can change the different programs on digital stuff, and I don't have to worry about it in the middle of a set. So that is the conundrum that we're faced with for this particular pedal board. Space and but sound quality at the same time. So the first test is going to be just phaser, and then we're going to bring in the warped vinyl and we're going to test that sound compared to the M1 and the Boss MD200. And fun fact, I didn't know this, but the M1 from Walrus Audio is already discontinued. I think I reviewed this 2 years ago, not even. And then I'm going to test these going into the Hoof Reaper, because I use it on cleans as well as going into fuzz or overdrive. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to play the guitar without any of this. Boss is A, M1 is B, Super Phaser is C, MXR Phase 90 is D. So they go in the order of the buttons. Fender Deluxe Reverb 68 Custom Reissue going into an aux box, and on the screen is the cabinet and the miking and all that stuff. So here we go. Just so you know, right now this is on the regular phaser, and it has a vintage phaser on there too. But I was trying to get it more clean sounding. And this Phase 90 has been modded, so it doesn't have that kind of preamp or clipping thing that these are known to have, because I didn't like that. It sounded good going into my fuzz, but it did not sound good when I was just trying to do light, clean stuff like this. Now it sounds great. I really like the Super Phaser, and I still love the Phase 90, but the Super Phaser, I love how you can have a subtle amount of that sign, almost like a wave, and it's just enough that it just, catches my ear. Whereas The M1 has a bunch of ways you can control it, but this is the closest I can get to what I want with it. And it does seem like it doesn't have the same output, even though I put it at its loudest output, because you can do that. And then the Boss is it's okay. It's not, you know, it's usable. I was using it for a year or two. The M1 just, it retains the low end really nice, the low mids and everything, but it's not really what I'm looking for in a phaser. You know what I'm saying? So let's start back at A. I'm going to put my fuzz on now. And just to try it without anything so you can hear it. So, and then here, the Boss first. In this example, I don't like the Boss at all. We're going to take the Phase 90 off, and we're going to move to the Warped Vinyl, and we're going to move to the vibrato part of this test. Smoking crack, I won't do what you tell me. I'm smoking crack, I won't do what you tell me. All right, so we're back. We're back. Where you been? All right, so I have the Warped Vinyl setting on these three pedals. So A is the Boss, B is the M1, and C is the Warped Vinyl, and we're not doing anything with the Super Phaser for this part of the video. So here we go. You know what? Let's start with the Warped Vinyl. All right, so in this comparison, I'm hearing that the Boss does it pretty good, but for some reason it almost has like a chorusy sound that I don't want in this particular sound. The M1 is sounding really good, kind of like the Warped Vinyl to me. It sounds pretty close, and for live, it's doing what it needs to do, and I'm not going to be bothered. Being that the Warped Vinyl has been having some intermittent crackling, interference kind of noise happening, I'm probably going to go with the Walrus Audio M1 for this. Let's try this all with the fuzz on. I will say that the warped vinyl going into the fuzz is slightly more pleasing, but that is not going to fly if I'm doing something very light. Man, it's tough because the warped vinyl does still do the randomization a lot better. But this thing does have like a reverb in it. It has more of a drive in it. It has age in it, warble. So I can keep tweaking it to get it a little bit closer. But for live, I think it's probably going to work. The warped vinyl by Chase Bliss, they just tuned it just right to kind of get that, I guess, the EQ curve of vinyl. You know, the low end's a little bit missing and the top end's a little bit missing, but it's done very tastefully, man. That's why I bought that pedal, because at the time there was nothing else like it. It's now up to a few things here. Board space, pedal board space when I start to put these things on there. And do I want to have one thing that's just controlled by MIDI so I can switch between these? Because with the Boss ES8, I will have a set list planned out and the name of the song will be there. And it'll also have my MIDI stuff to send the program change to whatever pedal for whatever song. So it's kind of a convenience over sound type of thing here. And when it's live, you know, certain things can go as long as it's not horribly wrong. You know, I think it's going to be definitely not the Boss MD200. I think it's I don't know. There's something brittle about it to me in comparison, especially compared to the Walrus Audio. The Walrus Audio retains the tone a lot better than the Boss does. I think the Boss just adds too much garbage. Maybe this thing is in parallel somehow. I don't know, but it sounds really good. As far as a warped vinyl sound, I don't think anything does it quite like this pedal, but this definitely gets super close to it. Super close. There's very subtle differences that only some of us will pick out because the nature of guitar players, and especially shoegaze, you know, kind of guitar players. So that'll be something for a later video once I start to put the board together. Anyway, if you stuck around this long, thank you. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell, because it'll help my channel. And if you're into this, you know, you'll stay in tune with us, whatever that means. But also, yeah, in the next video, I'm going to be looking at tube screamers or distortion pedals, because I am not sure if I'm just going to use the Hoof Reaper and that's it. We'll look into that in the next one. And then after that, it'll be delays, reverbs, and all that stuff. And then I'll be putting it all together and messing with the cables and showing you how I power stuff and all that fun stuff. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Step above the ledge, my friend. You could smoke crack with all the hoes that I've been sticking my dick in. And if you do not want to fuck me again, lick my fucking taint. He ain't